me. Nope. Some kids wasn't thugging, not me. No way. Nah, it was time so hard. Some kids lost guard, not me, no.
Hey yo, this is my new single that's out right now, produced by my bro Foggy Lens on all streaming platforms. Type in Saint Laz, not me. It's a banger.
You need to chill. Your popularity and salary don't equal skill. You just a parody, a cavity. I need to drill. In all sincerity, we actually need to kill.
Hey yo, check that new EP from Shrine B. You heard? It's called the Emerald Tablature. You got a joint on there with Ransom and a bunch of other fire. You heard? Also check that Shrine B and Saint Laz action. Type it in.
We ended up coming up on this counterfeit, right? So my son was hustling for his cousin who was not paying him, right? To the point where he was finally like, fuck him. We just gonna book him, right? So we run up in his spot and we were looking for money. We thought we were pretty sure he had a Tech 9. That's what we were really looking for. And instead of all that, we came across money, but not real money. We came across like $30,000, $40,000 in counterfeit. All hundreds. All fucking like in a sheet still. There was 3 of them to a sheet, right? I'm a kid at this age, so I never seen this shit before. I don't know what to do with it, but we knew we could do something with it. It was in like a manila envelope. So boom, we took it. We bring it back to the squad and we start talking and trying to figure out what the fuck we gonna do. So we had gotten one of those paper cutters, the arms, you come down. We got one of them joints because that shit cuts the best straight line. And we cut it. First thing we did was we cut everything up. Then we took everything and we mixed it in with real money in the dryer. We like crumpled shit up, rubbed shit together, and then threw everything in the dryer together. We were doing shit like rubbing it on the carpet and just always trying to, cause it looked perfect, but you could tell just a little bit when if you had it in your hand, you was feeling it, that there was something a little off about it. So we were trying to make it feel as much as we could like real bread. And with that, at the time, I was going to Cordello. So I was either booking people straight off the rip, like just giving them all fake bread and just robbing them, or I was letting them know, like if I fucked with them, like, yo, this is what it is. You know, this shit ain't real, but if you want 1,000, give me 500. You know what I'm saying? If you want whatever, give me half of whatever you want. And that's how we doing that. So we were making money through it like that, and we were making money through it with like actual plugs that we were fucking with, or whoever we were reading up off of here or there or shit. Maybe at a, 10 grand that you might give them maybe 1,500. You might have mixed in, some county with that shit.
Now,
So
for the record, you said this was the late 90s?
For the record, yeah, this is probably like 98. It's around 98, maybe 99, but yeah, this is the late 90s. Facts. So I'm in school and son tried to rob me, right? So mind you, the school I'm in, Laz, there's maybe like 2 white boys in the school. So I ain't never really had no issues, but every once in a while somebody would try to test you or whatever, right? So some must have heard that I had this shit and thought he had one. So at the time he went by Bloody Cat. I don't know what he goes by nowadays, but he had went by Bloody Cat, right? So he tells me that he got a Vic for us. He like, yo, we could go stick boy up for an ounce of coke. It's that and the third. Just bring $900, right? So I'm like, all right. So me, the Guatemalian, and this other kid who was driving us out there, we go and we pull up the son's crib, and I bought a 357 with me, right? So that was the whole plan, was I was going to give him the bread, and he was going to go do whatever he had to do, and if shit went south, I was going to be in the cut, and if need be, I was going to do what had to be done. But that wasn't the plan. The plan was he was really trying to rob me, right? So I come in the crib, and First thing he trying to slow talk me out of my own gun. Like, yo, how I know that shit even real? Yo, let me see that. No, you're not seeing my gun, bro. You know how it's real? I pulled it right off my fucking hip and pointed at his face. And you know it's a revolver, so you can see them 3 bullets on the side that you just see them. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing. If you know what you know it's real. So he like, oh, all right. He like, I'm gonna give you my gun. What the fuck are you talking about? But he was trying to talk me out of it. So anyway, we getting ready to leave, and granted, the kid that I was with, he could have turned around a lot faster. Like, he was stuck on stupid. You know what I'm saying? I think at the time he might have been on e-pills back in the 90s or whatever. He was just stuck on stupid, and the kid got away from us and bent the corner fast. So I'm telling him, hurry, catch up. Can't find the kid nowhere now. We bent the corner through the area where he told me he was supposed to be doing whatever with boy. We searching all through the area, can't find him. So now my son's like in my ear, like, yeah, yo, he got you, bro. He robbed you. It's that and the third. Like, ain't nobody robbed nobody, bro. We going back to his house. So we go back to his house. I call the crib. I say, yo, hey, yo, Bloody Cap there? Nah, he not here. Alright, we just gonna wait then. So we waited like an hour and a half. Finally, he pulls back up. I jumped out the car, took that 337, dug that shit all up in his ribcage. You think I'm pussy? You thought you just gonna play me? You just gonna rob me? Nah, what happened? I don't wanna hear what happened, bro. You got my coke or my money? What? Which one? I got the bread. Alright, that's all I need to hear. Give me the money back. Don't fuck with me no more. We left. I swear to you guys, son ain't never came back to school that I was there. I mean, I signed out when I was 18, like 6-7 months, or not 18. Yeah, at this time, yeah, that was around that age. I was in Cordello, so I was probably like 15, 16. So until 18, when I signed out, it was more than 6-7 months. Probably like a year and a half or 2 years. I ain't never seen son again. He never came back to school. That county was, I wish I had known how to make this shit back then. That's what I always wanted to know, is how the fuck they put this shit together so perfect. Because I went through like I had a homegirl. I only did this shit once because I was nervous to fuck with like actual places. But yeah, that shit, whoever did it, props to them, because they knew what the fuck they were doing. They had that shit mapped out. That shit was perfect, except for, like I said, it felt just a little bit off. But other than that, that shit was good money. I had booked some kid out in Hampton Bays for a whole bottle of liquid acid for like $900 with that shit. That was the first jokes I ever did with it. And that liquid acid shit was crazy back then. Everybody was tripping out. At least around my area, all the white boys used to love that acid shit. I used to run around, and with the liquid, I never did this shit, but these crazy motherfuckers would put this shit in their eye. So we pull up on him, and he'd be like, yeah, go ahead, give me the money for the drop, and then tilt his head back, and I would drop liquid acid in his eyeball. And he'd be like, shit start burning him and shit. Motherfuckers start running away, and then start telling you later how he started seeing he said you would see shit differently if you did that. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Not that I tripped out back in the day, but I ain't never put that shit in my fucking eyeball. Wow. Then there was this, I want to talk about this too, where this shit happened with the, back in the day, I know people heard of, Keith Murray, LOD, and that whole shit. That was a island thing that was going on in CI. That was like the town next to us. Now, I never met Keith Murray like that. Like, I don't know him like that or nothing. But I guess it was a couple of people that were in his regime that had robbed 2 of my mans for like $150 and dust at the time. It was something light, but like I said, once again, the principles. He got robbed for $150. There was like 10 of them in the house. They pulled a grab, yo. Niggas is dead, get out. So they walked out, and they were holding that shit. Niggas held a grudge over that. So we had put a plan together, like where we were in CI. If you cut through a street into the woods, you you would climb through the woods, hit another street, pop out, cross that street, get into the other side of the woods, and then it was like a fucking 2-mile walk, and it would bring you to the bottom of this hill that was like in a sump. But if you got to the top of that hill, that was the back of their crib where it all went down. And this is back when Mobb Deep had that shit, long shotgun down my pant leg, limping. All that, like, I was the one with the shotgun, so that line always stuck out of my head because I'm walking through the street with the shotgun down my pant leg. My other man had the 357. My other man had a 38, and I think the other one had the 38 too. There was 4 of us. So we on this mission, right? By the time, we ain't think it out right though, so by the time we get there, we noticed how long it took us to get there and what we had to go through to get there. Like, by the time we got there, we were like, yo, we ain't never ever gonna make it back. That's impossible. It's like 3 miles. This shit ain't never gonna go down the way we thought it was. So we like, all right, fuck it. I think the next day, we just ended up driving past the house, me and my son, Guanamali, and actually, he was like 5'2", 3, whatever he was, but I don't think he expected the bark from that shotgun to be so loud and so aggressive. So the first time he let that shit go, we was driving past the crib, that shit jumped out of his hands. He like, oh shit, that shit popped out of his hands. He caught it though, cocked it again, let one more off, and we got the fuck up out of there. That shit was funny though. The look in his face, he ain't never expected that shit to have so much recoil.
You said they robbed one of your men for $150 in dust juice, you said?
Yeah, that's a fact. It was $150 in dust. There was another time we was in the city looking for a sheet of acid, and son gave us fake acid. We were in like a minivan, and we realized it was fake as soon as he gave it to us. We spun the block, and my son that he sold it to found boy and jumped out, gave him 150 stitches, jumped back in the van, like, fuck it, we out of here.
How they knew it was fake? How they knew the acid was fake?
Cause you could tell, you could taste that shit. Like, either it's paper or gel. Like, I don't know. You probably never took acid before, I would imagine, but it's got a certain taste to it. So you know, like, and you can tell. There's 2 different types of acid. There's gel tabs, which come in different colors of gel tabs. They call it gel tabs because once you cut them up, it's like it's almost like a Listerine strip, how it just dissolves. So there's that, but then there's the original style, which is like block paper from like the 60s and shit, where they put it on the paper, but you can tell if you knew what you was doing, and you know what I mean? You could tell if it was fake or not, especially if you tasted it, you would know right off the rip, like, it just tastes like some regular paper. There ain't nothing to it. Because some people would know how to freak it and make it look like real shit or feel like real shit, but you can't beat the, if you taste it, you know it's fake. You know it's just regular paper. So yeah, we knew right off the rip that shit was bogus, and we just keep spinning the block until we actually found them. I didn't think we were gonna find him, but we actually did find him. My son jumped out and fucking blew his shit open. 150 stitches for $150. That's why I was like, I'll be honest with you, before I started telling you like stories like this and shit, there's been so many times where you be everybody be trading war stories or doing whatever. And a lot of times, if I ain't grow up with you, or I might have just met you or whatever, I kept shit to myself, because it was like, some of the times I be telling stories that sound so outlandish that motherfucker gonna try to look at you like, I be seeing even comments and shit like, oh, son cap, this, that. Like, I'm not here to go back and forth with you, bro. My life was so crazy, I never had to make up a story. My actual life is that fucking story. So sometimes when you be hearing people telling stories and shit, I should just keep my mouth shut.
Yo, let me tell you, bro. No matter who it is that tell a story on this channel, there's always gonna be that one motherfucker in the comments or 2 motherfuckers in the comments that's like, this nigga capping, I don't believe this shit, blah blah blah. You know, you can't even pay that shit no mind, man. You feel what I'm saying? Because, you know, it'd be a small percentage of motherfuckers that can't believe shit. But if you from the streets, or if you lived, you know, a particular life involved with crime, you know that none of this shit is far-fetched.
Stunting, not me. Some kids wasn't thugging, not me. Nah, it was time so hard. Some kids lost guard, not me, no.
Hey yo, this is my new single that's out right now, produced by my bro Foggy Lens on all streaming platforms. Type in Saint Laz, not me. It's a banger.